Hello and welcome to the Tower Circus in Blackpool for the first night of this year's Mosconi Cup. The Europeans are looking to make it 7 wins in the last 8 years in front of a lively home crowd. But looking to stop the rot are the Americans, and they bring with them a fresh lineup and hope this will be the key to success this year. Day 1 of the Mosconi Cup is now underway, and so far 2 matches have played out. Firstly, it was a baptism of fire for the young Americans as they went down 5-1, allowing the Europeans to secure their first point. Then Justin Hall and Corey Jewell were up against Darren Appleton and Carl Boys. It was a close encounter, but the Europeans missed the 9-ball in a crucial rack, and Jewell took his opportunity to close out the match. So this is confirmation of the results after 2 matches, and the scores are level at 1 apiece. In this opening session, we still have 3 games to come, 2 singles and 1 doubles. Next up, it's former British #1 9-ball player Mark Gray versus seasoned veteran John Schmidt. Let's hand over to your commentators, Jim White and Andy Goldstein.
Very excited about this one. Very excited about the competition. I have to say, of course, I've been lucky enough to present the snooker shootout here many a time, and the atmosphere is just bigger and better than ever before. It's so loud in there. It's quite incredible.
Yeah, that last match, I was watching it on the side, and I thought if it went to 4-4, that rack might have been the Mosconi Cup right there. As it turns out, match on. And it looks like Mark Gray has just secured the break here against Mr. 400, John Schmidt. And there's John Schmidt right there. He knows what the Mosconi Cup is like. He's been here before.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the
One of
first
3
match.
players on
Europe
Team
is
USA
breaking.
with a little bit of experience.
Match is tied, 1 each. Quiet, please. Thank you.
And the former snooker professional Mark Gray now settles in. Rock solid fundamentals. One into the side, ball into the corner as well. And it looks like he's left himself a shot at the 2. Perfect start for Gray.
Yeah, I'll be delighted with that break. Nice shot on the 2 as well. So important to get off the mark first in these best of 9 matches.
Yeah, you've really got to hold serve in this with the alternating break. A little bit more pressure added. As if there isn't enough out there.
Strikes the ball so well. He did when he was a snooker player. Remember the last time I saw him playing the Mosconi Cup. He's fearless when he's out there.
He's absolutely delighted to be back here again. It means so much for these players to gain a spot representing their countries. And for the first time, 3 British players on Team Europe. Certainly in recent times anyway. Back in the day when the snooker players all made up Team Europe, likes of Davis and White. Ronnie O'Sullivan even made an appearance in this.
Don't forget Alex Higgins.
Well, I was talking about the English players.
Oh, okay. The great thing he's got in his favour here, Mark, is as you can see the last 4 balls all down one half of the table. It means you don't have to do too much with the cue ball, which always helps.
Yeah, very compact action. Minimal amount of movement, and that almost always equates to success. Confident stroke there from Mark Gray.
You know what? It is a quick cloth, isn't it?
Been playing on the European Tour and dominating there as well. Secures the opening rack, the race to 5, trying to get Europe back on track.
Perfect start for the Europeans and for Mark. He'll be delighted with that to get that under his belt. Jim, let me ask you, you and I spoke before this competition started earlier on tonight. You said it's going to be close, 3-2. I said 4-1. Have you seen anything that's made you change your mind either way or not?
Well, it could well have been 4-1 or 5-0 if that last match went to Europe, but there's just so much pressure out there, and with the new cloth and everything, short races to 5, alternating breaks, the whole format just blends into staying close. I mean, talent on paper, there can only ever be one winner here, and that's Europe. But the Americans have come here a little different mindset this time, Andy.
Thank you. Thank you.
And they are all on the
Quiet,
same
please.
page. Very important.
Quiet, please,
I
ladies
do
and
think it's
gentlemen.
as important with their lack of experience that they can't let the Europeans get away with this one. As soon as they
Thank
start
you.
moving on the Europeans, that's when I
Rack 2,
think
USA breaks, trailing
they're in
1-0.
a bit spot of danger.
Good break, that one from John. And he's perfect. 1, 2. This is an ideal layout for Mr. 400 here.
Jim, can you just explain to our friends at home why he's called Mr. 400?
John Schmidt's game is straight pool, and running 400 balls in a row is just a miraculous feat. They call him Mr. 400 because he's done that a number of times. And straight pool is his main game, as well as he plays this game. He's a former U.S. Open 9-ball champion, but he's a character individual, and that's one of the main reasons that Mark Wilson has him here on Team USA this year. He said he is the glue that keeps this team together. And he does feel a little added pressure. He knows that his spot on Team USA was questionable by a few back in America, and he knows he's got to prove that he's here for a reason. Doesn't need to prove it to his captain. He needs to prove it to himself and all those naysayers.
Well, it's been a good start by both players. Mark came to the table in the first rack, dished up. And then John is, at the moment, doing exactly just that. All about getting your hand on the table. That's a lovely shot. You call it English, we call it side, bit of reverse side there. Bringing the cue ball down to the 8.
Yeah, something that Team USA has been putting a lot of time practicing. Mark Wilson's had them on video. Well, the crowd's kind of getting into it, but that's not bad. John will be happy with that. And they have worked a lot
Quiet, please.
on
Thank you.
execution and honing their fundamentals, because that's what stands up under pressure. And 1-1 is our score here. John knows that was a big rack. Got to hold serve. And Mark Wilson, I was saying, the sort of thing that he has really tried to drill into all his team here is just respect the game, respect your opponents, go out there and enjoy yourself. Have fun.
You were there all those years ago when he put the very first winning ball in the Mosconi Cup, weren't you?
I was, and it was a very staid celebration back then. But Mark is a character guy, a very stout fellow, very convicted with a lot of his, his followings and the way that he's a terrific coach as well, Andy. And the fellow just over his shoulder there, that's Don Wardell. He's the doc, they call him, a retired MD. He's along here, and Amir, we'll see if there's Corey Duell just chatting. So you can see there's a lot more chemistry.
Europe's breaking.
And they're a lot more relaxed as well.
Match is tied 1-1.
And you see Mark just talking to Corey about
Thank
cue
you,
delivery,
ladies and gentlemen.
vital to success.
Also, they don't have that
Quiet,
divide
please.
in the team they've had over the last few years. As great a player as Elder Pearl was, there was always a divide in the team when he was in it.
Oh, Mark took a little bit off that break, but it's successful. He sees 2 balls go down, the 1 and the 3, the 1 and the 2. He's got a chance at the 3 here. No, pardon me, that was the 2 that went in. He's got the 1 up the cushion. He's looking to see if the 3 does go. And the 3 does go. So he's looking at the 3 now.
Not the easiest of shots.
Just enough room.
Yeah, you expect him to make it. He has.
Sound technique. That was the shot right there. Everything's there for him now. The 6 looks like it passes the 8 into the corner. He's having a good look at it, but the camera angle that we saw earlier, it certainly looks like it goes. And if not, pretty easy billiard from the 6 to the 8. But Mark just wants to be certain in his mind exactly how he wants to proceed here. Well, you know, in hindsight, I'll tell you what, Andy, it's a little closer than it looked earlier. But
why am I ducking my head on a flat screen monitor from where I am to see if that goes? From up here in the commentary box, it looks as though it goes. We'll find out.
Well, he's left himself where he can play the billiard to the 8. This is close. Closer than I thought.
Great shot. Kept hold of the cue ball as well, which is always difficult to do when you're trying to nick a bit of the pocket.
Mark Gray could probably show up in 50 states and they wouldn't have a clue who he is. They know him on European soil.
They'd know after they got beat by him. He hits the ball. I know this sounds silly, Jim, but he hits it like a snooker player. Does that make sense? Gives it a little bit more power.
He's actually using an ash cue as well, which is a snooker cue. But it's a 2-1 lead. It is effective. 2-1 to Europe, courtesy of Mark Gray. The 21st Mosconi Cup coming your way from Blackpool. There'll be more right after the break. Great to have you back. It's the Tower Circus here in Blackpool. The 21st Mosconi Cup. There's day one's order of play. We're in match number 3 now. 1-1. It's been split so far. And a key match here is Mark Gray just leading John Schmidt. Players have held serve. Still to come. We've got doubles and closing day 1 out with singles play.
Rack number 4. USA breaks, trailing 2 racks to 1.
So many similarities between these two. Both 41 years of age. The oldest players on their respective teams, both making their second appearance in the Mosconi Cup.
Both playing third as well. There's another one for you, Chief. Well, you don't see that often, do you?
Our first dry break. Well, it wasn't dry. He made one, and he is nicely on the 1. Oh, he caught that thick. He caught that thick, but it disappeared.
Well, he was cueing over a ball, which is why the shot was slightly more difficult.
And as the cloth becomes a little bit more worn, Andy, those type of shots won't fall.
John, Jim, I have to ask you, being Canadian, we've got Europe and America out there. Who are you supporting over the next 4 days?
I'm the guy living on that iceberg right in the middle of the Atlantic.
I'll just see you clapping on Thursday, whatever.
Well, given that I've been here since the very first Mosconi Cup, Andy, not hard to become a fan of this event and a fan of pool.
Settle down, everybody. Come on now.
And
Extension,
our
please.
American referee, Ken Schumann, just quickly bringing order. He's jacked up a little bit on this. He just wants to keep that cue ball in the middle of the table. Needs a bit of angle here. That's not too bad. He'll swing this off 3 cushions, back down, play the 5 to the bottom left corner.
He's got a lot of room to play with, but again, we've seen how fast this cloth has been already tonight. It shouldn't be too much of a problem, but he's slinging it around.
Oh, that was a bit risky from John, and you saw him look away. He knew he was closer to that corner and the cushion than he wanted to be.
Yeah, and you never want that cue ball tight on a cushion. Again, butter the cue ball in the air slightly.
Well, the 6 does go by the 8, though. That's the good news.
Perfect.
And it looks like he can use the 9 here, too. He can
Just a
hold,
cannon.
play the cue ball into the 9 and hold for position to the 8. Oh, he's gone through, played the 8 to the other corner, just as easy. Now, this is a big rack. John's got to hold serve. He knows it. And he's got to stay with Mark Gray. Neither one of them have blinked yet. And what a big match this one is. And you can see him. He's enjoying it. Mark Wilson, this is one of the things that he's tried to bring out of his team, is go out there, have fun. Don't try and hide the fact there's pressure. Everybody knows it. Embrace it. Live in the moment.
Yeah, we haven't seen that for a long, long time with the Americans, having fun. Usually they're under the cosh because they're expected to win. They're the Americans. They invented this game.
You know, interesting gentleman right beside Corey Deuel, just having a chat there. That's Amir, the gray-haired fellow. He's a retired Navy SEAL commando, that fellow. Just to Corey's right, left as we look. And I'll tell you what, you want a motivational speaker, have a chat with that man.
Is he in disguise? Is that a real moustache?
He's the kind of guy you don't mind walking through a park through late at night when he's right by your side. Had a long chat with him in Virginia, and he's an amazing individual. He took these guys to San Diego to the Navy SEAL training base, and
Thank you, ladies
what
and
an
gentlemen. This is
education,
lap
and
number
what a
5.
moment that was for all of them.
Europe is breaking.
Are you allowed to reveal his
Match is tied at
identity?
2 apiece.
Is that okay?
First name,
Thank you
Amir.
very much.
Second
I suppose.
name, unknown. Rack number 5.
Good cue ball.
Park that cue ball. That was a good break, but it hasn't unfolded quite as nicely as Mark would like. Even though he made 3 balls, it looks like, off the break there. And the red 3, which is probably the most difficult ball on the table for Mark right now. Not really any value in trying to cut this in, because I don't think he can get the cue ball up table. I think he's got to try and duck here. Or even, I don't know if the bank goes.
You know what? I think he was looking at that, you know. He was putting
No, I
right-hand side on that. The white's automatically going to come down the table.
Yeah, I don't think the bank goes.
Extension,
It
please.
doesn't go by the 9,
No.
but it's just such a thin cut. I don't think he can get the cue ball above the 5 to get down for the 4. Tough to tell what angle he's got. It looks like he's queuing up to try and cut this in.
Big shot.
Oh,
Great shot.
What a shot.
Great-
Look
and
out.
do you know what? That's a great
Oh,
shot.
that
That's shot of the
terrific
night.
shot. Listen to the crowd. What a knowledgeable crowd we've got here. Even they understand the degree of difficulty to that shot.
Not only did he have to miss that 5, but he also had to make sure the white went nowhere near that corner pocket. That's an absolute corker of a shot.
And he almost had to catch that a bit thick to get the cue ball above the 5. You know, such was the shot, but Well, they call him Granite, Andy. Now you know why.
I don't want to bock it too much, but am I right in thinking that whoever's visited the table first is dished up?
Who's ever broke
Incredible.
is dished up. This has been such a high standard, this match. And again, it's going to be down to Mr. 400 to try and reply, because Mark Gray has raised the bar again.
Fearless, absolutely fearless. Wonderful dish. Well done, Mark Gray.
Doesn't get any better than that. Tremendous performance from Europe and Mark Gray there. It's a 3-2 lead in our third match here on day one. Plenty more action headed your way. Join us right after the break. It's some kind of ride, the Mosconi Cup here in Blackpool. A roller coaster of emotions, and we're on day one, and already it's been exposed. First two matches have been split, 3-2 in this, our third. Still to come, doubles play, and then we close it out with Appleton and Van Boning. But Mark Gray and John Schmidt, neither one of them have missed a ball. They've held serve, broke, and run out each one of their turns, and now it's down to John Schmidt once again to match Mark Gray. Ball down, he's got a shot at the one, but the two, well, it looks like it's found cover behind the 9. So for the first time, we might see a little bit of safety play. And John's come and had a look. I don't know whether or not that 2-9 offers anything. I don't think so. And I'm not sure whether the 2 is available below the 9. Again, tough to tell.
Well, obviously, he's coming around the table for
it. What a shot from John Schmidt there. Tremendous. That'll really boost his confidence.
Yeah, he's forcing it in. Very difficult to push these balls as hard as he has done. That was a great shot.
Yeah, you play at that speed, Andy. Those pockets shrink. No, just doesn't want to be too straight here. He wants a bit of angle.
Well, he's got a tiny bit of the pocket to play with now.
And he's going to have to play the 4 into the long corner, and that's what he's looking at right now.
And then, of course, that makes his position on the 6 a tiny bit more difficult. All adds up. As soon as you lose that cue ball.
That's exactly right, Andy. That's the way 9-ball is. You know, one lax positional shot tends to get magnified as you go about your business. And now he's going to come with a good shot to get all the way down table for the 6. This is tremendous stuff.
You know what? When you watch this at home and you think, I can play like this, you can't. Believe me, the standard tonight already, even though it's the opening night, is quite something.
Well, this has been breathtaking stuff.
Oh, look at that. I mean, that touch there on this table, it's like an ice rink. That was just beautiful.
Yeah, anyone that wasn't sure about John Schmidt's inclusion in Team USA this year, just keep an eye on your screen.
He's okay. He's okay. He's fine. That's a good shot.
Terrific golfer as well, John. Quite possibly the best of all the pool players.
Thank you.
And that is our 6th break and clearance of the match. 6 played and 6 on the spin. Back to you, Mark Gray.
Jim, let me ask you about a tweet in. Jeffrey Parks has tweeted me saying, Jim, stop sitting on the fence and tell us who you're going to support. Also says, I'm loving every minute of the coverage. Boise is some player. But you know what? The way these two are playing at the moment, I know it's early, I know talking MVP at this stage is a bit bonkers, but still, these two have been producing an amazing pool so far.
There you can see Schmidt's bio there. Obviously the jewel in his crown, that US Open 9-ball championship back in 2006. Special player, lives in Southern California. But he does have a tiger by the tail in Mark Gray, and he knows it. I've already let you know about Mark. He was the very first player named on Team Europe. Speaks volumes. Secured that right by virtue of his performance on the European Tour.
Europe is breaking.
Where do you rate this European side compared to maybe the last 3 or 4?
They never, ever get any weaker. I mean, the criteria now to try and make Team Europe, it seems like every year it's like winning a major event, just gaining a spot. And we finally see a dry break. It took 7 racks to come.
Well, the one wiped his feet on that middle pocket, but as Jim quite rightly said, nothing down.
Very tough shot here, and you can see cueing at a premium right over that side pocket. A little bit of movement there, but thankfully for John Schmidt, that ball disappears, but he was up off the cue very quickly, and that's always a sign of nerves. And he's right near the ball, just catches the near point, but only the speed keeping that ball in.
It's a good shot. A little bit of check side on that, off the cushion. Quite a lot of room to play with, but still made it. Good shot.
Key shot coming right here from the 3 to the 4. The 4 is right near the right-hand side, just below the brown 7.
Does it cut into the middle, Jim, or will he be using the 7 to knock it in off?
It could go into the corner pocket. John's had a look to see if it passes into the top right corner. Well, this is going to change things.
Well, it goes, but... And we saw Darren Appleton miss a ball along the rail earlier on. I wonder if that'll be on his mind when he gets down for this.
Yeah, this has made things a little tricky. He tried to draw below that 4. Could have been kinder. But this is a very difficult shot, and you can see when it's tight against that cushion.
Extension, please.
Is it pot this and you win with the 5-9 combo?
Quiet, please,
Is that what we're playing, Jim?
Thank you very much.
Well, that's what he's looking at, Andy. If he gets this, and he's showed a lot of experience there, calling for his extension, because this is effectively game ball here. He's missed it.
Missed it.
It was never going to be easy, and I'll tell you what, he hasn't left Mark Gray anything easy either.
No, but I do think it is a 4-ball frame. Miles away with that. Hit the cushion first. You've got to hit cushion and ball exactly the same time for those to drop. Mark will fancy this. It's not easy, but all he's got to do is pot it, and he leaves the combination on.
Yeah, it looks like the way that John actually played that, he tried to draw over to the left-hand side to play the 5 bottom right. Mark doesn't have that luxury.
Great shot. Great shot. What a great shot that was. Now, although on your TV screens this looks relatively easy, I can assure you the gap between the 5 and the 9 makes this shot very tough indeed.
Not to mention the gap between the cue ball and the 5.
To go 4-3. Huge shot. Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, Mark has to feel that that's one that got away. And no reason for John Schmidt now to secure this rack and get himself to the hill.
Yeah, hit the wrong side. Meant to hit as we look the right-hand side of the 9. Complete opposite side came across the cue ball. And you've got to put that down to pressure. Well, he dished these up in his club blindfolded.
And John knows that he will break in the next with a chance to secure America's second point.
Yeah, he's not been in front yet in this match, I don't think. He was always chasing. He's 3 balls away from being 1 up with 2 to play.
You know, we've said it so many times. 6 of the last 7 Mosconi Cups have come back to Europe. America had to make a change. They had to do something drastic. And they thought they were willing to take a step backwards to take 2 forwards in the future. But this team chemistry that the Americans have brought across the Atlantic this year, it's making a statement. John Schmidt, 4-3 up on Mark Gray. A big chance. Can't remember the last time America was ever ahead in the Mosconi Cup. They certainly didn't lead at any time last year.
No, they had a terrible opening day last year. Was it 5-0 at the end of the first day's play? The second day was just as bad. But the Americans, I know it's early, but they're looking good. 1-1, first to 11. Schmidt, 1 away from making that 2-1.
Welcome back to the Mosconi Cup. At the moment, we're watching a singles match between Mark Gray and John Schmidt, and the American has taken the lead 4-3 in this race to 5. Let's hand back to your commentators, Jim White and Andy Goldstein.
Where's that cue ball going? Where's it going? Where's it going? He's okay. He's praying. And his prayers were answered.
Well, he's got a chance at the 2 here, but you can see the 3 is wedged up to the 9. I don't know whether it offers a combination. Even if it does, how does Mark get over to that side of the table off this?
Well, he has got a slight angle, albeit, but he has got a slight, I mean, forcing this 2 down the rail and flicking the white off that cushion.
Thank you.
It's
I mean,
set.
it's there. He's got to be thinking about this shot.
Come on now.
He's pulling the cue ball back. He's going to use reverse side to hit. No, Jim's saying no.
He'll just try and hold the cue ball there.
Okay.
And now he's going to try and flick the 3. It's a very thin hit. A thick hit here might see the cue ball go into the corner pocket, but a thin hit should park the 9. Watch for it. It's there. John Schmidt, a point for Team USA. They lead here on day 1. It's 2-1. America have won the last 2 in a row, courtesy Mr. 400.
A great result for Team USA there after a crafty 3-9 combination. They now take the lead 2-1 in this race to 11. The European fans are now looking on nervously as Team USA's fresh team lineup may well turn the tide on their success here at the Mosconi Cup. They haven't won the title since 2009 and are desperate for victory again. Well, there's a chance now to delve into the Mosconi Cup archives as we revisit 2009. It was a fantastic event which saw a USA team shake up and produced a thrilling climax in Las Vegas as Shane Van Boening played Ralph Souquet. We join the action as Team USA lead 4-2 in this race to 6.
Ball down. 2 balls down.
Yeah, but the 3 was the ball that Souquet was focusing on, and it's come to impede the direct path between the cue ball and the 1.
Yeah, Ralph's going to have to push out here. He's looking at going up to the end rail, but I don't know where he's going to go here.
Push out.
He's got a little bit of a problem here, Jimmy. There's just about nowhere he can go, or Shane cannot play a safety right back at him. He may try to hide the cube, just use the 9 as a blocker. That's what he's doing.
And he's left a kick.
Shane passed it right back.
Wasted no time. Ralph's going to be kicking at this off the left-hand cushion. And with that 1 ball so close to that cushion, you know that he'll be able to play this shot with a lot of understanding on where that cue ball and 1 will be headed.
Oh, he'd like to kick this ball right in the side pocket. But that's not an easy one to make. This isn't bad. He kicked it up table. Couldn't have done much better than that.
But I think I'd rather have Van Boening's shot here than the one previous, and that was the gamble that Shane took.
Jimmy, you can show him here. He's going to bank this 1 back down the middle of the table, and he'll use the 6 and 3 for blockers.
Try and leave the cue ball in this area.
Yeah, this is a pretty straightforward safety, I would
Extension.
say.
Or will he? I mean, he's got the option where that 4 ball is, but that's aggressive. No, he's gone with option A, and I don't know whether or not he's held it. It's very close. Very close. He may be able to get through to this one.
There might be a window between the 6 and the 3.
Big window. Don't know whether or not he can pocket the 1, but he can definitely see it.
He's walking around there like he wants to shoot at this 1 ball. This is a long, difficult cut shot.
Extension.
Even more so, knowing that if he misses this, Shane can get to the hill. If he goes for this one, he has to make it. He went for the safety.
Cue
Played a
ball's
good
headed
one
towards
too.
the
Played
corner.
a good one too. Shane can see it. I think what we're going to see here is Shane is going to knock the 1 ball away and use the 9 for a blocker. Got a pretty good safety battle going this game. See another little soft shot here. Knock the 1 up table. Let the cue ball stop behind the 9. He did it too. He did it.
Never mind stopping behind the 9, welding it behind the 9.
There might be a little bit of room there. We can't see. Is there any space between the cue ball and the 9?
No, I'll tell you what, Ralph has just had a look about pushing that 9 towards the 8. So I don't think there's any room there. Yeah, show me some room.
No.
Maybe a dollar bill.
He married those balls. When you got to kick off the end rail like this, it's a real hard angle to judge.
And even tougher to get it safe if you do hit it.
He might scratch. He might scratch.
So tough to try and negotiate an escape like that. That was really the beneficiary of a great safety from Van Boning. And this will get him to the hill, and America on the cusp of winning back the coveted Mosconi Cup.
Shane's fine here. He wanted to get below the 5, so he's got an angle to get up table for the 6. He did it. Cue ball's going to go to the end rail, bounce back up, just like this. It's kind of straight in. He wanted some angle one way or the other, and he didn't get it. He may be forced to take a long shot at the 8 ball, unless he wants to draw back and forth across the table with the cue ball. I'm not so sure he wants to do that either. He may try to cheat this pocket a little bit. Boy, he did a good job there. He forced that cue ball 2 feet up the table.
That's a great shot, Jay. And again, a real sign of confidence and asserting himself in this match.
2 balls away from getting to the hill. He's got it. That's team captain Nick Varner, very happy right now.
9 down, 5-2 is confirmed. And look at Dennis Hatch. One more rack, one more big win, Van Boning, and you'll be the hero of the moment. One elusive rack win to secure that trophy.
If he ever wanted to break big, this is the one.
Quieten down now, please.
You really got to hold on to your composure in a spot like this.
Former U.S. Open champion, though. He knows what it's like lassoing those emotions.
Looks good.
I don't think so, unless this goes down, and it didn't. That'll be an illegal break.
Control passes.
And control will pass to Ralph Souquet. Even though a ball was pocketed, you can see the 2 balls as you see Shane Van Boning once again showing you this break, but only 1 ball, well, 2 balls down, but nothing went past the head string to total 3.
Ralph's got a
Quietly now,
long
please.
diagonal 9-foot shot on the 2 ball. One of the toughest shots in pool.
A real test of cueing here, Jay.
And he missed it.
9. Very close. Very close to fluking the 9.
He might have got away with it. I told you that was a tough shot there to start out the rack with, particularly being down 5-2. Shane may not have a shot at the 2 here. He looks like he's hidden by the 3. He's looking like he can see the top edge of the 2 ball.
Extension.
He might be trying to cut that 2 in the lower left corner.
He can see enough for that shot.
Tough cut shot here. Oh, he went for the safe. He's trying to make that ball on the side. He did. Smart shot. He bumped the 7 on the side.
A very adventurous shot, and it may well.
This rack's open right now.
Well, that could be the platform for Van Boning to run these colors out. What a great shot that was to open up. And look at this. Now, they're there. And with each ball that goes down, the crowd will start to sense what may be inevitable.
He's got to keep the angle on the 4. And he does. He does. He's got a little angle. He's going to have to hit this 4 hard. Bring the cue. Oh, he's going to go forward and shoot the 6 on the side. Probably a smart decision. You hit these balls hard on these tables and on this table here, and it can bounce out. He's going forward. Play position for the 6 on the side. Nicely done. He couldn't put it any better with his hand.
Staying in control and in the moment.
Very determined young man here. He wants to be the one that puts the finishing touches on the Mosconi Cup. And I think he's done it, Jimmy. You know, a little tricky. He's got to draw the ball probably close to the side pocket. The 8-ball's a hanger, but the position is not. He's going to have to flirt with the side pocket here, I think, unless he wants to go below. He went below it. Smart decision. He'll shoot the 9 on the side.
Listen for the thunderous roar when this 9 departs the table.
He might go in the end here. He's going all the way down in the end. And there it goes.
There, and the USA waited 3 long years to win the Mosconi Cup back. It's been a dry patch that has ended. A very worthy championship team.
A team shakeup was just what the Americans needed to clinch victory in 2009. Can the new team lineup this year inspire the same confidence to go on and win back the trophy? Find out when this year's Mosconi Cup continues next time. And the man who won the title for Team USA in 2009 is back in action. Shane Van Boening will play alongside Justin Bergman in a doubles game against Niels Fine and Nikos Economopoulos. The Americans will be hoping to advance their lead here in Blackpool.